I'm here at the interlude with Sarah Wilson Fleming, and it's an amazing environment. And I'm just going to ask Sarah where she came up with the idea and what was her intention behind it after she's described exactly what the environment is all about. Sarah.
So the environment, as you walk in the door, you step back in time, and we range from sort of 1920s memorabilia up to 1960s, and the whole essence as you walk in is to transport you back into an era, and then maybe it's not your era but it's your grandparents' era. The tea room has fine dress tables with china and feathers and memorabilia, old cameras, old books, all sorts of things to fire conversation, fire imagination. And deliberately the busyness of the food making and the coffee preparation is away, so that when the customer sits down they can immediately relax, and the essence of the place is to be spoiled and treated with time. So even if a lady's having a cup of tea and a tea cake, when she's finished I'll say, may I clear away, and the table is yours. So people know that they have the time they need.
Well, when I stepped in, I felt like I was stepping back in time, and it was a nice space to come into, an amazing space lost really, because very few generations, including my own, have experienced almost like it's quite classy, and in occupational therapy we do use what's called reminiscence therapy, which is for people with dementia or any kind of memory falsing issues. We actually surround them with environmental features that allow them to go back in time where they feel safer. Is this something that you considered when you were creating it?
Yes, very early on we had coffee groups approach us and I suggest please use the space, and we agreed to pop artifacts out onto the table, and we were so delighted with the connections people could make. The jigsaw parts of the brain could connect, and suddenly they were talking about when they went to work, and for that moment they were lit up.
And what other aspects did you consider? Because I can smell certain kind of aromas that are a part of that time in the past.
Good morning. I think as well, because we make all the food ourselves, you can smell the scones, you can smell the tea cakes proving on the top of the oven, and your smells can then connect to memories. And people will start talking about their grandmas making the beef stew and dumplings that we do, the scones that they make, the cakes, and then when they taste the food, they go, this takes me back, this is as good as my mum's. So that's always a big compliment.
What kind of comments do you hear from people when they first come in?
Usually, oh wow, this is amazing, I'm going to bring my friend, I'm going to bring this person, it's a discovery, I didn't know you were here.
And what kind of energy do you think you've created here?
Well, in my previous job, I was a beauty therapist, and I worked with vulnerable groups in the community, and a lot of women clients in their own homes who were widowed or divorced. And what I essentially wanted to create was an environment that you felt relaxed. It wasn't intimidating, and I realised a lot of females, it takes a lot of courage to go on their own to a place. So I'm absolutely delighted when a lady can walk in of any age, sit down, order, and you see them visibly relax. So I think I was after relaxation and feeling comfortable. And I know us women, we like lots of sort of treasures to look at and things to stimulate us. So we do have a cabinet with jewellery and handbags in, we do have china, and things that say, oh, my auntie had that set. So immediately I wanted to relax the customer, and that's why we deliberately put the menu into books about Yorkshire or books about artists.
I've noticed that there's a whole array of amazing pictures on the wall, even some L.S. Lowry originals, and some of the way the tables are actually decorated. It is literally a blast from the past. On a health basis and mental health, how do you think it affects people?
I think it helps to relax, and then when you relax, you've got space in your mind to think and to breathe, because I think the world out there, it's all very instant. People are on their phones and I actually find people come in here and they pick the books up, they start to look around, and the phone goes away and they just have time for themselves. And I think as a woman particularly, just if you take 10 minutes out of your busy schedule to relax and to breathe, you've got much more to give, because as women we are givers all the time, and sometimes we run on empty.
Yeah. And also it's extracting the wealth of memories from the past, isn't it? Which is what we do in occupational therapy. We try to extract those memories so that people have a great vibration to themselves. It's a good memory.
It opens the door, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you for this. It's an absolutely amazing experience, and I really would welcome and invite people up into Shipley to have a beautiful cup of tea in a real teacup on a saucer, and get top-notch services in the old-fashioned way.
Thank you.